conversation. Another week. Thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you for the comments. And thank you for liking and sharing, the videos that we had. And my name is Yolanda Mahaeng, that is your host. And today I have a beautiful friend of mine. Yes, from Standard 6. Yes, Standard 6. That was 2000. That was great, please. That was 2000.
Yes.
When we did grade 8.
And we used to fight a lot, about this. That's how we actually started this friendship.
And we wrote letters.
So, yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
So, hi everyone. My name is Nosi P. Wo, surname Hermanas. I'm a mother of 2, and I was born and bred in S2E10 in the Eastern Cape, raised by my grandfather with the help of Udabo Wam. Yes.
And that is you.
Yes.
Both. We are from the Eastern Cape, guys. And we both have boys. Two boys. And we both, not same man.
No.
Just almost.
A few days in between, but yeah, we're there.
Yes, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
I'm so happy. I'm just looking at her and I'm so excited. And yeah, and you were raised in Eastern Cape with S2E10.
Yes.
And I used to figure out in the
morning
with
my transport. Yes,
and I loved a relationship. I can know Damkulu and how Damkulu loved you. And how was it to be raised by a grandfather? Like I was raised by a grandmother. Part of Ijeniam was my grandmother, and it was a grandfather.
Yeah, so for my journey, it was my grandfather and my dad. Actually, grandfather from both sides, my mother's side and my father's side. So I would split my holidays between the two.
Wow.
For me, it doesn't feel any different from a mother's love, because somehow it's like for grandfathers, they try to overcompensate that love. There's protection, there's love. They try to be soft as well because they don't want to be too manly. So for me, it was experience a bit of both worlds, but I mean it was beautiful.
Beautiful. And I remember, Damkulak. Oh gosh, like we were so spoiled. No spill. Did you give your friends drink? I'm thinking, Jonah, this love.
It's so beautiful.
And it's so beautiful. And were you raised by your dad? Like, did you stay
with
your dad?
I didn't stay with my dad. So my dad stayed with us in King Williamstown. Then when he got married, he moved to PE. So each and every single holiday, then I'd go to him to visit him and his wife, which is my mom, and my sisters and brother. So then I used to go every single holiday to them. So I experienced that love as well and that relationship as well, but mostly when I was young, I remember the one with my grandfather, because I shared a bed with that man up until I was 16 years old, where he had to throw me out and say, there's your room, there's your bed, stop sleeping with me, because you are filling up the whole space. And I get surprised nowadays when you hear stories like a father has done something to their child, or a grandfather or a brother or a cousin or an uncle. For me, that breaks my heart, because I'm thinking,
it's not something that you've experienced.
Wow.
Never thought of.
Yes. But then I get to a point where I thank God for the men that he blessed me to have in my life. Because for me, that was a blessing. Not even one day did he touch me in a way inappropriately, or did he say something. I mean, he was just a parent. He just had that love. I would wear skirts, go in my underwear, whatever. He was just a father. He was just a grandfather. So for me, that is one of the things that I'll never forget, that I was blessed with, and they've shaped the woman that I am today. I can apply makeup and whatever, but no one showed me, no one taught me that. Because I was raised by men mostly.
And your mom?
So my mom broke up with my dad when I was young, probably 2 years old, I think. And she moved to the Western Cape. And then she sent me to live with my dad when I was 4 years old. So here is a person now, a child actually, that is used to this one person, because I only stayed with her apparently. I don't remember that because I was still young. So I only stayed with her, only knew that one parent. Because my dad would send money every single month for me. But then when she decided to move, I think she started dating. And then now obviously there's this child, and obviously the partner that she had at the time just wanted them to be together. So she sent me to the Eastern Cape, and there I was. Actually, there's a story that I always ask, so how did I end up there? So apparently, I was told that my mom said I kept on getting sick, so maybe it meant that I have to stay with my father's side. That's the story. And then I was sent with a bus with a grandmother that she actually, I don't know if she met this woman or it was a neighbor or something, I don't know. So I was sent in this bus, and then apparently the grandmother loved this child, which is me, and then didn't take me to where I was supposed to go, which is my father's house. Yes. Guess what? So I don't know bana lilali ke yiphi ka sofikile ngaseking kodwa, but it was one of those. So my dad got hold of my mom, and then he was asking where's my child and whatever, and then she didn't even know this woman, because back in the day there were no cell phones was. So then, and obviously no electricity as well for the telecom lines. So only a few houses had those lines. So my dad and my aunt that I mentioned that also assisted my grandfather to raise me. So my dad and his sister, they went in each and every single village to look for me. And when they got into this house, so apparently this woman said I must keep quiet. Remember, I was 4 years old. I must keep quiet. I mustn't say I'm in the house. So she hid me behind the door. So I kept quiet because I don't know. I don't even remember what happened. But one thing I know is that they told me I was quiet. So I kept quiet, and then I was told to stand behind the door. So when my dad asked, where's my child, the woman didn't know anything about being given a child from the Western Cape and all of that. So apparently when my dad left and he was at the gate, he was like, no, my child is in that house, I'm going back. So I don't know how, maybe she said I must come out afterwards or whatever, but that's how I was found. And then that is how then I ended up growing from my father's side.
You were to move. And what did your mother say about all of this? Because
I don't know, I wasn't there.
How can you give your child to
apparently she trusted the lady, the old woman. She trusted the old woman, but eventually I was found. So at least she knew. Then I was with my dad.
And then how now that you were not raised by her? Now how does it feel?
For me?
Yes.
Oh. The thing is, it's one of those things that you say you don't know how to feel. I didn't know the difference actually. Because that was the only thing I knew. I knew my father's love, which is my biological father, and I knew my grandfather's love. So I don't know a mother's love. But the funny part is I can give a mother's love for the boys. But for a long time, I always got confused when people would speak about their moms and be like, no, it's so crucial to have a mom. Like, I don't know what I would do, I would die. And then I'd get lost. I'm like, what feeling is this? Why don't I have this? And then I don't celebrate this. The only person I'll give a card would be my aunt. Because that's one thing I used to do. I would go and make coffee for her, because she was also a mother figure for me. Make coffee for her and write a nice card or whatever when I was young. But then I ended up having to tell my friends that, guys, I don't celebrate Mother's Day. I only celebrate Mother's Day, but I'm not going to discuss why. So then I grew up understanding that, and it was not a big thing for me. I didn't even care about Mother's Day. It didn't even bother me where people would show me what they did or if they went to eat or whatever. It did not even do anything to me, because as I say, I didn't know how to feel.
Because you don't know.
I don't know. So you can't have a feeling for something you haven't experienced. You see, so I can only relate to not having a father or losing my father or losing my grandfather. Then I know, because it's something I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So now I'm just thinking, now meeting your mom
Mm,
while you are old enough now,
that
matured.
was something else. So years passed, and then probably she would call maybe once, or she would send clothes once in a while. But the irony of it all was the way that the people were raising me would not say anything bad about her. And for me, it bothered me because I felt frustrated. I felt like, why are they not saying anything? Why are they not complaining? Why is there nothing about this person? Because it really used to irritate me. Like, if there's anything to do with mothers at school, then there's this that has to happen. Or maybe if my dad doesn't have money to do something, or my grandfather, but they won't say, you see, if your mother was selling something, then we would not be in this situation. No one complained. For me, that is the one thing that always stands out. I'm like, no one complained. Even if I didn't have anything, no one would say, but if your mother was helping out, maybe you would have gotten this. No one would. So that's another part that I'm grateful for, because maybe it didn't lead to so much resentment. Because I guess in many cases you find people resenting people because of the words and the things that they said about the person. So for me, I did not get that. It was like somehow, some way they were trying to say, you're still young, we'll allow you to be a child, but you must make up yourself. You must decide for yourself and see for yourself who this person is. We're not going to paint this person a certain way. You as a child will have to decide. And I think it's what most parents need to learn from. Because whether the father is not there, the mother is not there, don't paint that person. As long as you do your part. Do your part, and the child will see you for themselves, which is what happened to me. So then she used to send things and all of that. But then I came on holiday. I don't know how old I was. Maybe it was after a year, or 5 or 6. I don't really remember. But I came, and it was awkward because
you don't know her.
Yeah, and she was just too much for me. And she wanted us to have the same styles, to wear the same colors, and for me, that really irritated me, because even now, I think that's probably why I don't like when someone does the same thing, because it's one of those things. I'm like, why are you doing it? I'm not used to this.
Just be yourself.
Yourself. So she would make the same things. Like, there was this fashion style. I think it was the bob or something with braids. So she did that, and then she wanted us to have the same bodysuits, orange ones, and the same wraparounds. So for me, that was traumatizing, and I was like, but why is she forcing? Because it felt like she was forcing things. And even though I was young, I was very forward as a child, because I also wanted to hear this woman say sorry, or to explain herself. As young as I wanted to find out, but why are you not raising me? Why are you living your life? Why don't you even care what I'm eating? Because for me, those are the thoughts that I used to have. And she just carried on as if there was nothing. And she didn't owe anyone anything, any explanation or whatever. So for me, that really confused me. And I never even heard her saying to the people that raised me, oh, thank you, you guys have done such a good job or whatever. So it was a thing that I was looking at, and I was like, no, man, what kind of person is this? And the reason why I never came on holiday ever again in Cape Town was that year I overheard her with a friend saying, oh, no, there's a school that you're going to put her on, one of these Muslim schools. So I was like, no, man, so I'm going to be kidnapped. She goes, I don't want to be here. And then it was like my life was just flashing in front of my eyes. Then I thought about my great-grandmother. I won't see her again. My grandfather, my dad, my aunt. I just had chest pains by just the thought of all of these things happening. And I'm thinking, she's not even considering these people, because I know they would never allow that. They would never send me to Cape Town. The next thing, I'm going to stay with that person without consulting me. Do you want to? And now I'm thinking, I don't even know the number, like the phone number at home. But I remember memorizing it once or twice. I don't know when. It was all for one something. And so days went past, and now schools were open. Now, and then I asked her, when am I going? I didn't act as if I heard what she said. So then I asked her, when am I going back home? And she didn't say anything. Weeks passed, she didn't say anything. Almost a month now. And I'm thinking, really, this woman is really going to kidnap me. So I really need to do something. And remember, at home, they don't know where she stays. There's no cell phone numbers. So how will they even trace me? And luckily I had a friend, and there was a spaza shop in our house, so they had phones and whatever. And I'm thinking, what's the number at home? What's the number? So I kept on playing with numbers, kept on playing with numbers. Up until this one day, I dialed the number and it went straight at home. And then I was shocked to hear my aunt. And I said to her, listen, I don't know how, but you need to come and fetch me from here because I don't want to stay here. I don't want to lose my family. Because I overheard this woman, didn't even say my mom, this woman saying that she wants me to study here in a Muslim school, blah, blah, blah. And my aunt was upset. But I don't know how they got her mother's number or whatever house number, but the message eventually got to her. Then she knew that I didn't want to stay there. And then she was upset, but she had to take me back. So I went back home, and I think that was the last holiday I ever spent with her.
So you never related like as a mother and a daughter?
No. I even remember there was a time when I went, probably that was year 2, was it the last time when my grandfather passed away, which is his father, because I was very close with both of my grandfathers. And so I was in Ginsberg that time, and she was there as well. But I probably, maybe I had resentment that I thought I didn't have, because I just had, sometimes I felt like I had anger when I looked at her, because I didn't understand this person. And the fact that she did not want to talk about things, she didn't want to explain herself, or she felt like she doesn't owe, like, you don't owe it to a child to explain yourself or whatever. And I remember she was crying, and then his father was like, oh, she was like, yeah, Dad, Lomtana can fool you, and Mazwai can fool you, don't. And then Dad was like, no, you also must learn to speak to the child and, be more accommodating as a parent. Don't force things. Try and understand where she's coming from. Yeah.
Wow. And then I'm trying to understand when your grandfather passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So how was the feeling? How did you react? How did you accept? Did you accept it, or how was your reaction? Now, this is the only person that you've ever known, right? And your mother is still in Cape Town. You are in Eastern Cape.
So what happened was, it was during our grade 11. Was it grade 11?
I think it was grade 11. So before matric.
Before matric. So I remember that holiday, I was in PE. As I said, in every single holiday I would be in PE. So he called and he was like, no, he made up stories that I must come, he misses me, this and that. Like, he was like phoning almost every single day, I must come home, he misses me, like that. I mean, it's weeks before the holiday ends. Like, relax, I'm gonna come. I mean, what do you want? And he kept on pestering me up until I told my dad, I said, dude, your father, like, he wants me to go, so let's just go to the Instant Cape and then come back. So my dad was like, okay, fine, we'll go for the weekend. So we all packed with my sisters and we went down to King. I got there that weekend, and we used to have our own plans, our own secrets, like, no one must know what part of this mission that we have. So his money is our money, everything is ours. I didn't have anything, so his stuff was mine. But anyways, I got there, and he said, because we used to work at Grey Hospital, so he said to me, yo, come, mustn't tell anyone, close the door. So I closed the door. So he was like, yo, I'm gonna get all my monies. I'm so excited. What do you want? Yo, then I was like, I was off the bed. I want a phone. I want a Levi's jean. I want this taking. Ooh, my hair. Like, crazy things. And then, so he says to me, seems like you're gonna finish all my money, so what are you gonna buy for me? I said, Dad, I'm gonna buy you a car. Can you drive though? And he'd be so upset. He said, I used to drive trucks. You can't say no. To be defensive. No, don't worry. Don't be upset. It's fine, I'll get you a car. And then you beam with smile because you picture himself driving this big car with a wheel at the back. And so we had that conversation, and then he said the following day that he's gonna go and get his money. Yeah, and that's the only thing I remember actually. And he slept, that was good night, and then the following morning, I was like in a deep sleep. I've never been in such a deep sleep, so I felt like I want to wake up but I can't wake up. I want to wake up but I'm spoiled because, I mean, I don't even use my phone's alarm. because my dad's voice, my grandfather's voice will wake me up. Like, Nabi, Nabi, Vuka. So if he hasn't called me, I mustn't wake up. There's no need to wake up. So I kept on sleeping. But then I could still feel, no man, he should have called me by now. But I just was in a deep sleep. So when I woke up, went straight to his room, to his bed, and he was laying there. And that was it. He was gone. And the most surprising part was that I didn't even know that he had paid for my school fees for the whole year. The year that he passed away. So the whole of my grade 11, he had paid for the whole year for my school fees. And for me, that was like, wow. So I don't remember what I said. I remember getting out of the house and going to my aunt outside in the flat, and I think I told her my grandfather is unconscious or something. But the thought of death or anything, I did not even think about. That didn't even pass my mind. I just thought maybe the ambulance has to come and then he has to go to hospital or something, but not,
maybe he's not well,
not death. And I said that, then I went outside and I was sitting on the grass. I just heard one cry from my aunt, and she was like, no, not my dad, not my dad. And then in that moment I lost it. I remember I was wearing my pajamas. I just ran. I ran for an hour or more without stopping. I just didn't want to think, didn't want to do whatever. I just ran up until I couldn't run anymore. And I remember sitting, and then I was like, no, okay, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. I walked back home, and then I was like, yo, what must I do now? I was like, is it school day? Is it what? Like, I just tried to.
So you got confused.
Yeah, then I made tea for everyone. I was just busy. And you know, with black people, they never think about counseling, like a child needs counseling or whatever. To them, those things. Okay. No, I right? You know?
Okay.
And the only thing I remember, I did not cry during the whole time. I did not cry during the funeral because I did not understand what was happening. And I felt like, no, he's coming back, man. Like, he's coming back. And then it started where then I got angry at him, mostly. Like, why did you leave me? Who do you think is going to understand me now? Who do you think is going to do things for me? Who do you think I'm going to chat with? Who do you think I'm going to like do the things? Because I promised him so many things. I promised him the world, and I had told myself that as soon as I make it, I'm going to do all those things for him. He's not even going to lift a finger. He's just going to be chauffeured wherever he wants to. Like, those were the things that I told myself, that I don't care even if I don't have anything, but he will live in a mansion. He will have A, B, C, and D. And for that not to happen, that really someone robbed me of giving him all of those, like dining in fine restaurants or hotels. So I cried I still remember every single day for 6 months, and I would be talking to him all those days up until I stopped crying. I remember the whole year when I was doing grade 12, to some people, probably whoever, no one knew at home that I was going to the graveside almost every single weekend. No one knew that I was always there. If anything happened that hurt me, I will go and vent it out. If I feel like, yo, I'm missing today, I would act as if I'm going to a shop or whatever. Then I'll go to the graveyard, and then out there I will like share whatever I want to share. When I passed my trials, I went and I said, Dad, we passed trials now. When I passed with exemption, I went there and I said, Dad, I passed with exemption now. When I graduated, I remember even my pictures, you can see my eyes are blood red because the whole day it was not for me. I made a shift in my mind that every single thing that I'm achieving, I'm no longer living myself, it's for us. Hence, then I had to grow up very early, and sort of, because I don't have a mother, I can't do certain things. I can't live a certain way. I can't be out, like sleeping out with boys. I had to make certain rules for myself as an adult, as my grandfather now I'm abiding by these rules. I'm going to do this up until a certain age that I feel I'm an adult. So hence I was protective of myself, and then I had to grow up early and be a parent to myself. So yeah.
Because now he was no longer there.
He was no longer there.
So now you need to
So
grow up. No
when
one's going to wake you up
yeah.
in the morning.
So when I was 16, turning 17, then I became a proper full-on adult. About every decision that I made, it was like, so I have to think like an adult. Are you really going to do this, or is it going to result in this? So I had to calculate for myself all the time, and be an adult. And other kids would explore and do whatever, but I could not do that, because then I thought, if I got pregnant at an early stage, who's going to take care of my children? Or my child? What's going to happen to me? Then I'm going to stop going to school, and I'm going to live this life that I don't want to live. So I had to calculate every single move that I made. So every single thing that I achieved, I used to go back and revert to him, like, Dad, I got my graduation, I graduated now, this is for us. My first car, I've got a car now. So that was the journey.
Because you promised yourself that you're going to enjoy these things with him.
Yeah.
Hence now you...
Because the thing is,
that you need to tell
as
him.
he was a pensioner, but for me, what pushed me was the dreams he had for me. Because he didn't want me to miss any science, like festivals, anything to do with school. If I come back and I say, yo, Dad, we were picked with the top whatever, it's like, why didn't you make the top one? Why are you not the first one? Or if I say, oh, Dad, I got 99% or 98%,
what about the one?
What about the 2? I'm thinking, this guy, but I mean, that pushed me, because he saw something in me. And sometimes I remember, I would be like, yo, Dad, I'm too lazy to go to school now. I was in primary. I'm too lazy to go to school. And I said, no, but we must phone and say, I'm not going to school now. So he said, okay, you put me in my bag and we'll go to those public phones, and then he'll talk. But those are the moments that I always cherish, because I'm like, wow. Those are good moments. So yeah.
But then did you accept his passing, and what was the journey?
I did not accept his passing.
Are you still you still don't? Oh
no. It took me 13 years to accept that he's not coming back. The journey wasn't easy, because I like every single thing that happened, I would revert to. Like in my mind, I would always think, yo, what if he was here? What would he be doing? What would he be saying? You know, so every single thing. And it took me time. It took me years to actually let go and be like, okay, he must be in peace now. Let me stop crying every single day. Let me just release him.
And then you went to PE to enjoy with your dad.
Yeah, with my dad.
And how was that journey now?
That journey, oh my God. So then I got there, and now obviously I'm his firstborn, so he wants to show that he's strict and whatever. And so now it's his first teenager, and he sees how teenagers behave. So he doesn't know if this one is like that. And he's also very protective at the same time. And I know myself already. And the thing is, the problem started with him and his dad is two total people. So with my grandfather, we had understanding. I didn't have to ask anything. He knows what I want without even saying anything. With him, he wants an open child that will come and say, Dad, I need da 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 da. And for me, a father is supposed to know what the child wants. I'm not going to say anything, because...
So you didn't understand?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything, because I never asked anything from my grandfather, so why must I ask? I'm not going to. So then we had that clash, and to a point where he called me and asked, why don't you even phone me and ask me? Or like the year that I was still doing my grade 11 in PE in King Williamstown, and he phoned and he was like, I've never seen a child like this. You don't even phone me and ask for toiletries. Why don't you? So I'm like, because
you're supposed to
know. And then I said, my grandfather never asked if I needed toiletries. He would buy for me or would give me money. So I don't know how I'm gonna say it. I don't know that. Same with stationery. And he's like, what about stationery? I said, the person that used to buy me stationery has passed away, and he knew what to get me. So
you're comparing them and didn't understand that they have their own lives. their own personalities.
So he had to get to a point of understanding, and then he also had to give me room because I was grieving. I was grieving. Maybe I was thinking out of him or something. But yeah, but my dad and I have a good relationship. We spoke about so many things, and yeah, even now,
You're so
he's
much
my
very close.
go-to guy.
And when last now did you speak to your mom?
I think I spoke to her sometime last week. So that journey, remember, I didn't. The last time I went to visit her was when I was 8 or something. Then there was no communication for years. Then when I was 20 something, then she tried to reach out, and I just couldn't have it. And every single time she phoned, I'd be like, "What do you want? I don't want anything to do with you. I don't hate you, but I don't want the relationship. What must I do now? I'm over 20 something, so what do you want? I don't need a mother now. Like, what am I going to do with a mother? What is a mother going to do in my life?" So those were the questions I had. Then I think, I don't know if I was 24, 25, where I had to get to a point of forgiveness. Because sometimes when you hold on to things, you're also blocking your own blessings as well. And the Bible says you must honor your parents.
Your father.
And so for me, that I didn't understand. I kept on wrestling with God, like, honor your mom and dad, but how do you honor someone? But that was not the way. So then I had my child. I remember when I had BK, and there my aunt came and she showed me how to do certain things. But even there, I still had that mentality that I'm a parent myself, so I can do this. But something in me changed, because the process of carrying a person, that is something else. That she could have had her own decision to actually terminate if she wanted to, but because she was also very young, I think she was 19 when she had me, and they broke up. So she could have had, and her father was a pastor. So she brought
there's a lot that she was going through.
So she was young, and she brought such a shame as well in her family. So those are the things that I forced her. The reason why we are in this space now is that I wanted her to own up as well, and to tell me the truth as to what was really happening, what was the reasons, what was whatever. And I wanted the full story, And she opened up about how she was young at the time, and having a baby, and then this guy breaks your heart, and now having someone that wants to build a life with you. So obviously now it's like
she wanted love.
Yes.
She wanted to feel accepted, and belonging.
Somewhere. And at least you're doing something right. You are giving back your honor in her mind, like, to get married. So now let's take away this child, because my partner just wants us, and let's just build our own family or whatever. But they got divorced, I think, after 10 years or so.
Because he didn't come in the right way. Yeah. Because he didn't accept her with everything that she had.
Your baggage and your package. So I had to get to a point where I wanted peace in my life, and also for my children as well. If anything happens, they won't even know that they had a grandmother, because I'm like blocking this person not to be in my life or whatever. So it was a journey of forgiveness, a journey of I was not perfect as well, by building all these walls and having a grudge, because I am not God. So as much as I was hurting, so I allowed hurt,
to overwhelm you.
Anger, and all those things to overwhelm me. And I think there's one thing that really used to play in my mind every single time that I felt like I need a mother. I feel like I needed a mother. I need someone to hold me and say it's going to be okay. And every single time that happened, then my mind would shift to when I was 7 or 8, when I fell. Because I remember I used to cry and say, "I want my mom." But that one day I fell and I said, "Oh, my mom." And the next thing, the voice within me said, which mom? You don't have a mom?
Mm.
Get up. What? She's not gonna come. Forget about this person. This person does not even exist. You do not have a mother. And I got up and I wiped myself and I was like, I don't have a mom. And from then on, I never looked back. Like every single thing I faced, my brain could never even think that let me ask my mom, I would just face it head on and not think that there's this person in my life. So now I'm at a point where we speak over the phone, we've dealt with our issues, and it's a peaceful journey, you know, learning to love someone and understand that person and accepting the person as she is.
And involving
her in my life. You know, not trying to think I don't need her or whatever. She's my mom. She'll always be my mom. So that will never change. She gave life to me. The greatest thing that
you are here now
because
and
of her.
Because she contributed.
You know, she didn't let me out. So for that, honestly speaking, I had to look at things and not just look at things at face value, but to just, you know, yeah. So that's the space we are in. We phone and we joke and yeah.
And now, what is it that you have learned right through the journey? Like something that you would say, this is what I've learned, you know, and moving forward now, this is where I'm heading to, and this is what I'm currently doing, because of I've learned this and this and this and this, you know. In life has taught you so much. And look at you now, you are a mother, you know, you are a mother yourself. And I'm sure that you had a promise to your kids or to yourself that you will never be who the person that your mother was, you know, just left you, and you never had a relationship with her. So now you had a promise to yourself that you know what, I'll be this kind of mother.
So I made a promise to myself that I will not, like, when things happen, you learn from those things. So obviously you know how the next person would feel. And I remember when I got pregnant, I wasn't married or anything, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, what do I do? I don't even know anything about having a baby, even though I was 27 at the time. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? And the people that I was working with were like, no, we send our kids to the Eastern Cape. You know, then I'm thinking, no, man. If I do that, then I'll be doing exactly
what your mom
did. So I decided to take my pain and my experience and change it into something else. You know, change the what do you call it, the cycle or the pattern, or break, even if it's a generational thing that people ship off kids or whatever. And I owned it up and I said to myself, this child is a blessing from God, and God will give me the tools to raise him. And he did just that. You know, so I learned that you mustn't run away from your responsibilities. However they look, whether it feels like they're going to be coming and robbing you of your future or destroying your plans or whatever, because you don't know what lessons that you are going to be taking from that experience or what God is trying to teach you in that season. Because I as I said, I've never had a mother's love, but then my kids have experienced a mother's love. They know a mother's love. They know their mother will do anything for them. I'll cross the river, I will do whatever for them. They know that. But it's something that I didn't know. It's something that I didn't experience, but I could give that. And even my partner was so surprised that I could give it so effortlessly, you know. So and for parents as well, man, like take charge, you know. It doesn't matter that things didn't work out or anything. Like my father was an example to me because he had moved on, he had gotten married, but he did not forget that he had this responsibility, and he included me in his family as well, where we are this one united family. So people must just be present, you know, be present, whatever you've done, whatever situation you find yourself in. Don't run away from the situation thinking that you can hide that child, you know, it's not part of your life, you want this happy family. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to be present in the moment and do what, and God will give you the tools to do what you need to do. You know, So I've learned a lot in this journey, man. I've learned a lot, and especially about forgiveness. You know, you can't hold on to grudges. You cannot hold on to a grudge because it's not going to take you anywhere. It's going to dig deep a hole of resentment, of anger that you will not be free from. You know, so I've set myself free by forgiving.
And you know what? I'm just listening and I'm thinking what I've experienced about forgiveness, you know, that it brings joy.
Joy. More than anything else.
It makes you think differently. You know,
it
you
gives
see
you peace.
You see
Peace
things in a
clearer.
different perspective. That, you know, there's more to what you have experienced.
Yes.
You are not who you were.
No.
But now you need to focus on what you need to do.
Yes.
You know, and
yes.
now what
you
are
look
you
into
doing?
the future. So currently what I'm doing now, this whole experience of mine actually made me step up. I remember reading news and seeing, like, you know, men are trash, like so many things that are done wrong by men, and yet I have got this experience of men that are, you know, standing up and taking up space.
Yes.
And you know, even the partner that I have, he has always been by my side. You know, every single thing I've dealt with, he's been there, he's still there. And for me, my brother as well, a very supportive brother, prays for me and all those things. So I've got these people in my life,
Males, specifically.
Males, and then there's this stigma that's attached to males. And then God blessed me with 2 boys, and I'm like, I wanted girls, but what are you doing? And there's a reason for everything, for everything that happens. And well, God spoke to me 3 years back with a vision of opening something that will help mold and build young boys, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've also have young boys myself. So I opened a NPO called Warriors of the Land, where we mentor boys, you know, equip them with skills that enable them to bring positive change in society and you know, all those things.
And how is it doing to you?
To me, it's fulfilling. You know, for me, it's showing me that, you know, God says His plans are higher than our plans, so is His ways. So I look at my life and I see it as a puzzle, and that every single thing there had to be a result of something for whatever experience, you know. And I'm grateful for that experience because it has shaped who I am and what I'm looking into now.
Sure.
So yeah, that's where I am.
Yes.
Building future leaders, man.
Wow. And now to whoever now that was raised by a father and not a mother, but still in a situation of hating.
Forgive.
You know.
Release, let go. Free yourself most importantly, because you might be blocking your thoughts, your visions by holding on to something. And remember, no one is perfect. We are not perfect. So as much as it's going to be a difficult journey, it's a painful journey. You know, it's not easy. Forgiveness is not easy. But open up your heart, because that person gave you life.
Sure.
Let's share more love. Let's share more forgiveness.
Yeah. And you know what? Forgiveness, it starts by forgiving yourself. You know, forgive yourself. Forgive the people that are around you, especially the person, you know, sometimes
that has wronged you. Because sometimes those people, when you don't forgive them, you're also giving them power over your life. So they've got this hold, over you. They've got this key that they are holding, that you have given to them. So in order for you to take your power back, you need to take that key back and release those people and take your power back.
And you know what? Also, what I've experienced is, you know, sometimes we say that I forgive this person, you know, but when it's still in your mind and you haven't said it to the actual person, you haven't forgiven. because you still have that hold. Yobana, I don't, what if I go to him and then he responds like this, or he doesn't receive it? Then you still have that feeling of you'll be rejected, because you fear rejection. You are very insecure.
And it should not be about forgiveness. Should not be about the result of the next person.
Expecting
if that person is going to forgive you or not. It's not about that. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free, cleansing your heart from anything that is a stronghold and holding you back from yourself. So whether the person does not say sorry back, whether they say something bad or whatever, you from your side, you've taken a step to free yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wow. We're learning
every single day.
And the beautiful thing is we are turning things around.
Amen.
Our mothers, they never said anything. They kept all the pain into themselves. But right now we're saying that we are not bowing down to pain.
Amen.
We are not bowing down to anything that is holding us back. Now we are claiming everything.
We are coming back.
We are coming back for each and starting from the grandmother.
Great grandmother.
Everything that was meant for my grandmother. Everything that was meant for my grandmother. For my great-great-mother and my mother and me too. They must all come because that is wealth.
Amen.
For my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, to come, that they will never suffer of anything. And these conversations will also be at home, with our children, where we just have to speak up, about everything. That's why I always, my little one, talks too much. And I'll ask him
allow him
things,
to be free
to talk. Yes. And he would say things and tell me this and a dream and everything else. Because those are the things that we've never experienced, We've never...
an openness.
Openness of how was your day? Just a typical day. Because, remember Israeli child. Hey, yo! Waiting for a transport and you don't know who's gonna come and rob you and you're scared. And remember, you used to stand there with me and you're crossing fingers. And
that no one comes to rob us or anything.
So all those things, no one ever asked, now how was your day? I was full of fear because I was standing at the stop, taxi stop for an hour because the transport was not coming. So those things we are breaking. Now this week we're gonna be free.
Yeah.
So with all that, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. And there's more to come because our journeys, they don't end here. We have chapters of life. So yes, with all that, thank you so much for joining us today, and do not forget to share this video so that we can share these stories to someone else who needs it. Please subscribe, like and comment below. Don't forget to share your story on our email address hearttoheart.conf@gmail.com. So with all that, we love you.
Love you. Bye.